everyone, it's Minty and this is a very exciting video because I'm doing an OC swap with the one and only Hershey draws. So basically we're going to be drawing each other's original characters. I'm drawing Yuki and Rowan, and I believe that Hershey's going to be drawing my OCs Hazel and Olive in her video. So I'll be linking that in the description and the pinned comment, so make sure to check that out after you watch this. First of all, I'm going to be drawing Yuki. I think she's one of Hershey's cutest characters. I don't know much about her backstory, but I think that she's supposed to have a twin, and a random fact about her is that she's kind of sleep deprived. I assume that's because of school, because she does look like a teen. I decided to go with more of a sketchy style in this video, so once I did the sketch, I went straight into colouring, and you'll see later that I end up doing the line art with some coloured biros to add to the sketchy vibe. I think it goes pretty well with Yuki's design because of all the soft, calm colours and how they mesh together. I think if I used my regular neat style, the line art would look kind of harsh against that. So Hershey gave me a couple of reference photos and she mentioned the colour names as well, but I think that she uses a different marker brand, whereas I use heheh's. I think that she might use Artex, if that's how you say it. So I did have to improvise a little with the colour matching. It probably would have helped if I actually bothered to swatch the markers, but I think I managed to match everything close enough. Now let's talk a little bit about how she draws herself. If you haven't watched her videos, she does a lot of aesthetic draw with me's and reviews of art supplies, and I think she even has a couple of tutorials which I would highly recommend because she has an adorable art style, and I'm pretty sure she's a fan of anime as well, so if you are, then her videos would definitely be perfect for you. I love Yuki's design so much, mainly because of how cute she is, but I also like it because it's definitely pretty different to the type of characters that I usually make. I tend to go for more sci-fi, fantasy, dystopian characters, but Yuki is just cute and simple, and I love that about her. It's simple but not basic, if you get what I mean. The hair is pretty unique with the way it's mainly brown, but has a couple of streaks of blonde at the front, and she has this adorable sweater and a knitted top that she wears underneath, which just looks so cozy and comfortable. The first time that I saw Yuki, the first thing that came to mind was a Draw This in Your Style contest that Hershey Draws held about a year ago, I think. The character that we had to draw for that contest was basically Yuki, but with bunny ears, to put it simply. So I guess Yuki's design was based off of that, or vice versa, I'm not really sure though. The marker that I'm using for the brown of the hair is called Thin Persimmon, and I barely ever use this marker, and I think it's deep-rooted in an experience that I had when I first got my heheh's. I'm pretty sure that I tried using this marker, and it just went horribly wrong. There was this weird texture and everything, and I thought, oh, it's just a faulty marker. But I think that it was just me being faulty, not the marker, because it worked perfectly well here. It worked amazingly, in fact. It's a really unique kind of brown, and it's light, and it kind of reminds me of chocolate milk. That's a bit specific, but it does, and I think I'm gonna use it a lot more often because it did look really pretty here. I used a marker called Pale Lilac for the eyes, and I hope that I got it right because as far as I could tell from the reference photo was that this character has purple eyes, which is a really unique feature, and it does look really cute. It kind of inspires me to do some different unique eye colours on my characters as well. There's also a unique colour for this sweater, which is off the shoulder and very cute. It was kind of hard to get though. What I used was a marker called Honey, which is a marker that I sometimes use for skin. So it didn't turn out exactly how it was on Hershey's drawing, but then I added this purple just in some random places, and I think I managed to get it a little bit closer, but it's still more on the brown side than the purpley pinkish colour that I think that it's supposed to be, but hopefully it worked out. Hopefully you like it, Hershey. Ah yes, it's time to bring out the broken old biro. As you can see, I accidentally crushed it and the top of the biro pen cracked. And I'm glad that the whole thing didn't crack. It still works, but every so often I reach to grab this specific pen and I'll just get stabbed by the little plastic shards on the end of it, which is not very safe. But, you know, it's a good pen and I'm not willing to let it go yet. I used it for the top that she wears underneath the sweater, and I did this cross-hatching pattern just to show that it was knitted, and I layered some skin tone underneath it to show show that texture, and I think it worked pretty well. And now we've completely jumped to the end of this specific drawing. We've still got another one, and hopefully you like how this turned out, Hershey. One of my favourite parts of the drawing is actually the font that I used to write the name Yuki. I think it looks pretty cute. And now it's finally time to move on to the next OC, which is actually a boy. Surprise, I haven't drawn one of those in a very long time, and his name is Rowan. He is a pretty cool character. He actually reminds me of one of my own because of this amazing bluish hair with the gradient. It's messy and I really love it. So I did a headshot. I didn't do the rest of the body, mainly because I just wanted to focus on the hair and make that the point of the drawing that your eye is most drawn to, because it's the only thing on the paper. And it was actually very hard to do, so I think that if I did attempt to do the whole body, it would have taken ages, because the hair itself took me a while. I'm not sure how long, but the footage was a million years long. His hair goes from a really, really dark blue into a very light blue at the end. So I started at the end with the light blue, and then I just kept switching markers, going darker and darker and blending as I went. And I did these little tiny strokes to show the hair texture, since it's pretty messy. I didn't want to make it look too smooth of a gradient, because it is hair. It's not going to be smooth. It's going to be really messed up, which is definitely what I ended up with. And I thought that it wasn't dark enough. I did use the darkest blue that I had, but it wasn't dark enough, so I had to go in with a black, which is always pretty dangerous because black is so hard to blend out. So I put that on the top and I blended it out as well as I could with my darkest blue, and it worked in the end. But if you look closely, you can actually see that it's not fully blended. Now with Rowan's backstory, again, I don't know that much, but I do know a bit more than with Yuki. He's supposed to have a very serious personality. Well, he's basically the parent friend of his group. He's very responsible, and Hershey even added in the fact that he gets a little bit irritated by Yuki sometimes, so I assume that she can be kind of on the opposite scale and she's not very responsible like he is. And I also saw in the reference photo that she annotated saying he doesn't like wearing light colours, even though she drew him in a pink top, so I was kind of confused about that. So I just added a darker top, since that's what he's supposed to like, and I absolutely love how it turned out. Thank you, Hershey, so much for collaborating. And now let's quickly do shout outs, because kind of running out of time here. These are the shout outs. Remember to comment this emoji if you would like a shout out in the next video, which will hopefully be tomorrow, and hopefully it will be a sketchbook tour, but I don't really know. So yeah, we'll see about that. Thank you, Hershey, again, and I'll see you all in the next video.